Let's take a look at the 2015 macro exam FRQ question number 2. This is going to be a opportunity cost, absolute advantage, and part D is going to be a terms of trade type question here. So let's look at the beginning here. Country X and country Y are trading partners. Both produce furnaces and solar panels. Those are our two products. The countries can produce the following amounts using equal amounts of resources. So here you go. Here are the two possible outputs, right? 6 furnaces or 8 solar panels, right? And you could draw out a PPC between those points. And country Y is going to be 6 furnaces or 12 solar panels. So I'm going to glance through here quick because we're going to draw out a chart and calculate all the relevant opportunity costs, and then we're going to come back to be able to quickly answer our question. So let part A, absolute advantage in producing solar panels. You may even actually be able to, before we do anything, answer this one, right? Who can produce more solar panels, right? So part A should be a country Y here, but that'll be clear. Then we're going to need to go opportunity costs of a furnace in country Y. So we're going to do that. We're going to calculate all the opportunity costs. And then they want to know about comparative advantage in producing furnaces and a little explanation. So an explanation here is probably going to entail us saying, you know, a certain country has the lowest opportunity costs, and then we can even, if we calculate them all out, we can say what they are. And then part D is going to be the trickiest part of this question. They give a particular ratio of terms of trade. 2 furnaces are exchanged for 1 solar panel. And then they're going to ask about country X, right? Should they accept those terms of trade, or should they just go ahead and produce solar panels domestically? So we'll get to D in a minute. Let's redraw this in sort of a chart format here. All right, I'm going to erase that. All right, so we've got make this nice and big, country X, country Y. We've got furnaces and we've got solar panels. All right, so first off, I'm going to kind of fill out my chart here with the possible output combinations, right? So at most, country X could produce 6 furnaces and 8 solar panels. And for country Y, it was also 6, and it was 12 solar panels. So right off the bat, we could, part A asked about absolute advantage in solar panels. We can clearly see that country Y is the answer there because they can produce more solar panels. So country Y has the absolute advantage in solar panels. For furnaces, nobody has an absolute advantage, right? They can both produce the same amount. So you don't even need to calculate any opportunity costs at that point to answer absolute advantage. Now, we do need to go on and talk about comparative advantage. So for that, we need to calculate opportunity cost. So remember, opportunity cost is the price of one good in terms of the other good. So I'm just going to do it here to the right. So for country X, I'm going to just do this in sort of parentheses here because we're calculating opportunity cost. So we're going to take the opposite, right? So 8 solar panels over the furnaces. So 8 over 6. And again, this is the cost of a furnace in terms of solar panels, right? So we reduce that, what is that, 4/3 of a solar panel. So what that means is the opportunity cost of one furnace is 4/3 of a solar panel. And this is for country X. Okay, so if we know that, we know over here this is the reciprocal, but we can go ahead and think about it in terms of the other goods. So put that 6 over there over the initial solar panel. So again, this one is the price of a solar panel in terms of a furnace, right? So reduce that 3/4 of a furnace. And that should make sense. So you double check, right? Those are reciprocals, 4/3 and 3/4. So that matches up correctly. We did that. Should be correct. So now let's move on to country Y. Again, we're kind of doing the same exercise. Was the price of a furnace? So take solar panels. Oops, 12 over 6 equals 2, and that is 2 solar panels. right? So the price of one furnace is 2 solar panels. And again, you're flipping it the other way. So you'd end up with 6 over 12, 1/2 of a furnace. And that is the price of a solar panel in terms of furnaces for countrywide. All right, so these are all of our opportunity costs. So let's move on. Let's see, question B asked about what the actual opportunity cost of a furnace was for country Y. So that would be this number here. So part B, the answer is going to be in country Y, the opportunity cost of one furnace is equal to 2 solar panels. So 2 solar panels should be your answer there for part B. And then let's see, part C asked about who had the comparative advantage in furnaces, and then also asked to explain. So again, who's going to have the lower opportunity cost? We're looking at furnaces here. So we've got a price of furnace of 4/3 of a solar panel and 2 solar panels, right? So the answer to part C is going to be country X, and your explanation, because lower opportunity cost. And you could even essentially state those, right? The opportunity cost there is 4/3 of a solar panel, which is less than 2 solar panels, right? So sort of a 1-sentence explanation there is enough to get that, as long as you state, the lowest opportunity cost. Okay, now let's go to part D, which is actually, so terms of trade, which is possibly almost for sure the most challenging part of this question. Okay, so I'm going to write down here. And we're given a certain exchange ratio, and they ask us about country X if they should make this trade. So the terms we're given are that one furnace equals sorry, I don't have the question in front of me. Let's get to that in a minute. So we're asking about the price of furnaces. So what we want to do in terms of trade is it's always a range, right? So we're going to look at these opportunity costs here. And countries are going to enter this if it's mutually beneficial, right? So if the price is negotiable, but the price could come anywhere in between this range, and they would both be better off with trade. So, and we're talking about, let's see, one furnace. And now again, we're just writing the range here now. So let's change that 4/3 to 1.33 to 2 solar panels. Right, so anywhere in between there would be mutually beneficial, and country X would be better off, right? One furnace equal to somewhere in between here solar panels. All right, so let's go to what they're given. So what they gave us is that one furnace equals 1/2 of a solar panel. So is 1/2 somewhere in between this range? Well, no, it's not. It's outside that range, right? So there's another way you could think about this, right? You can look at it from sort of two perspectives, right? Because they give you can turn the ratio solar panels in terms of furnaces. So if you want to do that, we look at these two opportunity costs, right? And one solar panel, again, we're going to get the range, right? Should be somewhere between 1/2 a furnace to 3/4 furnace. Okay, so and if you take this same ratio, right? Remember, this is the ratio that we're given in terms of the terms of trade. If you flip that around, right? So multiply that by 2, you get one solar panel equals 2 furnaces. Sorry, SP, 2 furnaces. Now, is this ratio, is 2 in between 1/2 and 3/4? No, right? So it doesn't matter which way you look at it. You look at it either way. And it's essentially the equivalent. So you don't have to look at both. You just have to look at one. But it's outside the range. So, and this question doesn't ask you to explain. So you technically don't really have to get too far into this as long as you see that it's not advantageous, right? So if it's not advantageous to trade, the price is too far outside the range, right? Then we need to recommend country X is not going to trade. Okay, so let's go back to our questions here real quick. So again, part A was country Y. Part B, this answer was 2 solar panels. Part C, the comparative advantage went to country X, and then we talked about the opportunity cost there. And then part D, if the terms of trade were this, should country X produce solar panels domestically or import solar panels from country X? So they should not import, right? So therefore they should produce solar panels domestically. That's because the rate we were given, the exchange rate we were given, was outside the beneficial range of terms of trade.